What's going on, guys? I want to do a video showing you how to install the Crye Precision harness to your AVS plate bags. This is going to be the same process between the standard cut, swimmer cut, and MBEV cut plate bags. So getting right into it here, you're going to want to lay your plate bag just how I have it laid, with the top facing you, label side up with the label away from you, and your harness facing you with the bottom being this way and the top going toward the top of this plate bag. Starting out, you're just going to want to weave your straps from the plate bag up through both buckles, and then the actual bottom buckle here has this little tab that extends, allowing you to pass the strap back down through and then secure it to the plate bag again. This is going to determine how high your plate bag rides on the harness, so you're kind of going to need to play with this for a little bit before you continue setting up the harness. I like to have my plate bag sitting right about here on the harness, right where the shoulder strap starts to come up. So that's just personal preference. That's just how I need to have the plate bag set up, but you're going to have to play with it a little bit. Once you have both of the harnesses woven through the top there, through the D-rings, you're going to want to flip the harness over, and then when you get this harness, it's going to come in two pieces with a Duraflex kind of pull tab and some shock cord. I would recommend leaving this off until you finish this next step, just to make it a little easier on yourself, because once you have that shock cord routed through here, you're not going to be able to get your hands in here. The next step involves taking these tabs and then pushing them through where you would normally mount your just standard cummerbund if you weren't running the harness. You're going to push those tabs through here and then snap them together with these Hypalon snaps. I already have this side done. Trust me, like I said, it's a lot easier to keep the elastic out of here when you're trying to reach in here and snap them together. Keep note that where you mount your harness on here is also going to kind of play with where the harness sits on the plate bag. So that's again another point of adjustment that you're going to have to play with. This is a good time to install any cummerbunds that you want to use. You can use 3 bands and stuff, 2 bands. I prefer the single strap on the side of the harness that's actually coming out of the plate bag when I don and off the carrier. Just personal preference. You do get these locking tabs that won't allow the cummerbund to slide out of the AVS. So I'll take this tab and then just bring this up over and route it through this elastic band on the single band. But your next step, like I said, involves routing these guys through the vertical MOLLE here on the back. Again, this process is not fun by any means. I've done this 3 times now, kind of over it. The good news is once your AVS is broken in a little bit, the process will become easier. So once you get the tabs through that vertical MOLLE, you're kind of able to take the harness and push it all the way over and then peel it back here and snap the snaps together. You're going to have to do this 4 times. You have 2 of the snaps on each side. So you just repeat that step on this side. And then I know that this side is going to be the side that I'm going to actually open up to get in and out of the plate carrier. So that's where I set my cummerbund up. And then I also set up the buckle up top here, which is super simple. It's just one piece of Velcro and you just lay it across. You lay it across the top of the harness here. This is a medium harness. It's a little bit too big for me, so that's why the buckle is sitting so high, just until I can get a small harness, but that's a super simple step. Once you have all the snaps secure in a place where you think you're going to want it, you can go ahead and take your shock cord and Duraflex clip. Don't put this guy together yet. It's going to come in 2 pieces if you get the harness new. Leave it apart, because trying to run the elastic through this thing once it's put together is a pain. And basically with this elastic, I like to just loop it through the provided nylon loops here and do kind of a crisscross pattern like Crye's recommendation. That seems to be the most secure. So you just want to take your shock cord and run it through the loops on the back side of the harness. It is important to take note here that if you do have an eat-off cable to make sure that it doesn't get routed in with your elastic here, or else it's not going to work properly. So just take your elastic cord here, even it out. You can kind of tighten it as you go. And then, like I said, I like to crisscross it. And you're just running it down the entire back side of the harness. This is a timely process. Definitely don't expect to have this plate carrier set up in 5 minutes if you're installing the harness and everything from scratch. But it is definitely worth it once you finish this process, and hopefully you don't have to redo it a million times like I do. So once you get it through the last 2 loops here on the bottom, you can kind of cinch it down if you need to. Like I said, this harness is too big for me, so I have to really cinch it down to get it to work for me. And then you're going to take your Duraflex clip. Again, don't put this little tab inside just yet. If you are installing this brand new, I would hold off on that, because doing this step, trying to pull the shock cord through, is definitely not fun. Okay, so once you get your shock cord through, hopefully yours is disassembled. Like I said, mine was not, so it took me a while to get it to where I needed it. You can then make adjustments, pull everything tight, and then push the top plunger piece in, and that's going to lock your shock cord, and it's not going to want to pull back through. You can tie a knot below this if you like, just for an added level of retention. And what I do is I simply just take this and push it back up here in the harness, just to get it up out of the way, and flip everything up just like that. And just like that, the harness is attached to the rear plate bag. Again, guys, I apologize for kind of the weird angles and how I had to manipulate this thing. It's just such a big piece of equipment, and the harness, as you can see, is rigid, so it doesn't like to lay very flat or, you know, work with me here. So, but I'm working with what I got. That's how you do it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. I plan on showing you the rest of this AVS along with my other AVS in a future video. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching.